If you're drawn to dark romance, dangerous protection, and men who break rules when they decide you matter, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. This is the story of the night I lost my freedom, and the man who refused to let anyone else own it. I don't find out I'm being put into protective custody until the locks change. 1 minute, I'm standing in my apartment holding a grocery bag with a broken handle, oranges rolling across the floor. The next, 2 federal agents are inside my living room, their eyes scanning corners like threats might be hiding in the dust. "You need to pack," one of them says. "Only essentials." "For what?" I ask. The other agent answers. "For your safety." Those words never mean anything good. I testified 3 days ago. Not publicly. Quietly. In a sealed room with no windows. I told the truth about the money I saw move through my company's offshore accounts, about the names attached to the transfers, about the meeting that ended with a man bleeding on marble floors. I didn't expect consequences this fast. "You don't understand," I say. "I have a job. Elise. I can't just." "You already did." The first agent cuts in. "The moment you spoke." They escort me out through the back stairwell like I'm already guilty of something. A black SUV waits with tinted windows and an engine that never shuts off. Inside, a man sits in the far seat. He doesn't look like law enforcement at first glance. No uniform. No badge visible. Dark jacket. Broad shoulders. White. Mid-30s maybe. His posture is relaxed in a way that sets my nerves on edge. "This is Agent Cole Mercer," one of the agents says. "He'll be responsible for you." Cole's eyes lift to mine. They're gray. Sharp. Controlled. He nods once. "I'll take it from here." The door closes. The SUV pulls away. That's when I realize I'm alone with him. The safe house is nothing like I expect. No sterile bunker. No rows of weapons. It's a modest townhouse tucked into a quiet neighborhood. The kind of place people forget exists. Cole shows me around with efficient movements. Kitchen. Bedroom. Bathroom. Security system I didn't know was there until he activates it. "You'll stay here," he says. "No phone. No internet. No outside contact unless cleared through me." "That's a prison," I snap. "It's protection," he replies calmly. "Feels the same." He studies me for a long moment, like he's deciding how much truth I can handle. "It won't feel like this forever," he says. "If you cooperate." I laugh once hollow. I already did. The first night I don't sleep. Cole sits at the small dining table with a laptop, checking feeds, answering quiet calls, always aware of where I am even when he pretends not to look. I test him. "So how long have you been doing this?" I ask. "Long enough." "You always this friendly?" His mouth twitches. "You don't want friendly." "Then what do I want?" He meets my gaze, something dark flickering beneath the surface. "You want someone who won't hesitate." That sends a shiver through me I don't acknowledge. By day 3 the rules tighten. I can't open windows. Can't step outside. Can't even stand on the porch. Threat level escalated, Cole explains. "Someone leaked your name." My stomach drops. Leaked it to who? People who don't like witnesses breathing. The house feels smaller after that. Every creak sounds like a footstep. Every shadow feels watched. Cole notices. He moves closer without asking. Not touching, just present. Like a wall between me and the fear. One night the power flickers. I freeze. Cole is moving before the lights even die, pulling me back from the window, his hand firm on my arm. "Stay behind me," he orders. I do. The lights return seconds later. False alarm. But he doesn't let go right away. Neither do I. "You crossed a line," I say later, my voice quieter. He doesn't pretend not to know what I mean. "I grabbed your arm. You didn't ask. There wasn't time." "That's not the point." He exhales slowly. "In my line of work, consent and survival don't always align. And you just decide which one matters?" "Yes," he says without hesitation. "When you're in my care." The words should terrify me. Instead, they settle somewhere deep in my chest. Days stretch into weeks. Cole becomes part of my routine in ways I don't notice until they're already there. He makes my coffee the way I like it without asking. Leaves a blanket on the couch when I fall asleep there. Stands too close when voices come from outside. He doesn't touch unless necessary. But when he does, it's grounding. Deliberate. Possessive in a way that feels less like control and more like claim. One night, he admits something he shouldn't. They reassigned me, he says quietly. My heart stutters. What? I asked them not to. You asked. He looks at me, then really looks. You're not just a file. And that's a problem? Yes, he says. For both of us. The attack happens on a Tuesday. It's quiet. Too quiet. Cole stiffens, hand going to the weapon at his side. Go to the bedroom, he orders. No. He turns sharply. This is not a debate. I obey. Gunfire erupts downstairs. Shouts. Glass shattering. I curl against the wall, shaking until the noise stops. Minutes later, Cole appears in the doorway, breathing hard, blood on his sleeve, but standing. It's over, he says. I rush to him without thinking, hands on his chest, checking, grounding, terrified. You're hurt. Not bad. You lied. I minimized, he corrects. He closes the door behind him, locks it. You disobeyed orders, he says. So did you, I snap. You stayed. His jaw tightens. I wasn't leaving you. Even if protocol demanded it? Especially then. The silence between us crackles. That wasn't professional, I whisper. No, he agrees. It wasn't. After that night, everything changes. He stops pretending distance is possible. He sleeps on the chair outside my room. Checks my breathing when he thinks I'm asleep. Stands too close, touches too often. Eyes tracking me like I'm something precious and breakable. You're crossing lines, I tell him. I crossed them the moment I chose you over procedure, he replies. Chose me? Yes. The word lands heavy. What happens when this ends? I ask. His gaze darkens. It doesn't. The official clearance comes 2 weeks later. Threat neutralized. Case sealed. Protection no longer required. A new agent is scheduled to take over. Cole reads the message once, then deletes it. They're coming tomorrow, he tells me. To move you. And you. I'm not handing you off. That's illegal. He steps closer, voice low. So is letting them use you again. Use me how? As leverage. As bait. As a liability. My pulse pounds. You don't get to decide my life. His hand lifts, stopping just short of my face. I won't decide it, he says. But I will defend it. And if I don't want you to? Then say it, he replies. And I'll walk away. I search his face for manipulation. I find devotion. Dangerous. Unwavering. Stay, I whisper. Something in him breaks and settles. We leave before dawn. New city. New names. No oversight. It's reckless. It's wrong. It's also the first time since the testimony that I can breathe. Cole doesn't cage me, but he never stops watching. This isn't ownership, I tell him one night. No, he agrees. It's commitment. And if someone comes for me again? He pulls me close, forehead resting against mine. Then they come through me, he says softly. Every time. I don't know if what we have is love or something darker. I only know this. The man assigned to guard me crossed every line. And I let him. Because sometimes protection looks like breaking the rules. And sometimes the safest place to stand is beside the man willing to burn everything to keep you alive. Is beside the man willing to burn everything to keep you alive. That understanding doesn't arrive all at once. It settles slowly, like a bruise you keep touching to remind yourself it's real. The new city is smaller, quieter. We take an apartment with outdated appliances and thin walls, the kind of place people don't look twice at. Cole insists on checking every lock himself. He memorizes the street traffic within the first hour, notes which neighbors leave early, which come home late. You don't relax, do you? I ask one evening as he tightens the deadbolt. I don't stop, he replies. There's a difference. At night, I wake sometimes to find him standing at the window, phone pressed to his ear, voice low and lethal. I don't ask who he's talking to. I don't ask what he's promising. Some truths are safer left implied. Still, fear has a way of testing things. 2 weeks after we arrive, a man follows me out of a grocery store. He keeps his distance, but I feel it, the weight of attention, the subtle pacing. My pulse spikes. By the time I reach the corner, Cole is already there. He doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't threaten. He just steps into the man's space and says something too quiet for me to hear. The man pales. He leaves without protest. Later, when my hands won't stop shaking, Cole kneels in front of me, gripping my wrists gently but firmly. "Tell me next time," he says. "Even if you think it's nothing." "You weren't even there," I whisper. He meets my eyes. "I'm always there." That should scare me. Instead, it steadies something inside my chest. The lines between protection and possession blur further as time passes. Cole doesn't isolate me. He encourages me to work, to talk to people, to reclaim pieces of myself that were stripped away the moment I testified. But he's always nearby. Always aware. "You don't trust anyone," I tell him one night. "I trust systems," he replies. "I don't trust people." "And me." He considers. "You're an exception." The word lands heavier than any promise. I realize then that I've become one too. For him. The past resurfaces in fragments. An unfamiliar car parked across the street. A call that disconnects when I answer. A name mentioned in passing that makes Cole go still. One night he finally tells me the truth. "They never intended to protect you long term," he says. "You were leverage until the case closed." "And you?" I ask. "I was supposed to walk away." "But you didn't." "No." I wait. "Because I saw how easily they discard you," he continues. "And because I couldn't." That confession sits between us, raw and unguarded. "I don't want to be another liability," I say. "You're not," he replies. "You're the reason." The confrontation comes unexpectedly. A man from my old life corners me outside my workplace, face tight with anger and accusation. He says my name like it's poison. Demands answers. Blames me for things unraveling. Cole intervenes before I can respond. He positions himself between us, one hand settling on my back. Not to hide me, but to anchor me. "This conversation is over," he says. "You don't get to decide that," the man snaps. Cole's gaze sharpens. "I do." The authority in his voice isn't official. It's personal. Absolute. The man backs down. Afterward, I turn on Cole. Adrenaline still coursing through me. "You can't keep doing that," I say. "You can't fight every shadow." "I won't," he replies. "Only the ones that reach for you." "And what happens when I want to face something myself?" He pauses. Then nods. "Then I stand beside you. Not in front." It's the closest thing to compromise we've had. The night I finally understand what we are, there's no drama. No gunfire. No chase. Just the two of us sitting on the balcony. City lights distant and soft. I don't know what to call this, I admit. Cole leans back, eyes on the sky. "You don't have to name it. But you've given it meaning." "Yes," he says. "Because meaning keeps people from leaving." "And you're afraid I will?" His gaze shifts to me unguarded. "I'm afraid you should." The honesty surprises us both. "I stayed," I say quietly, "knowing who you are. And knowing what I'm capable of." "Yes." He exhales slowly. "Then stay knowing this too, I won't cage you. But I will never stop choosing you." The words wrap around me like armor. I don't pretend this is healthy in the way people mean when they use that word. It's forged in fear. In broken systems. In rules bent until they snap. But it's also built on choice. Every day I wake up and choose him. Every day he wakes up and stands watch, not because he's ordered to, but because he wants to. That matters more than labels. More than legality. More than safety ever did. I lost my freedom the night the locks changed. But I found something else in its place. Not ownership. Not control. A man who crossed every line to protect me, and then stayed long enough to ask if I would cross one with him. And this time when I say yes, I do it with my eyes open,